It's Saturday afternoon and I'm out for a long run. It's a good job that everything I've done for the past 14 months has been very low heart rate running, because today it's mid-20s and this weather seems to have come out of nowhere. And while mid-20s is not hot for the northwest of England, it's positively tropical. So it's really nice just to be tapping away. You get into almost like a meditative flow state, because when you're running as easily as this, you really just relaxing, it's just jogging, it's just so stress-free and hassle-free. Don't need to worry about pace, don't worry about anything. Just occasionally check in with my watch just to make sure that my heart rate is aligning with my breathing and it's aligning with what I think the effort is. And if it isn't, if my heart rate creeps up, I just stop and walk and take a picture. I've been doing this for 14 months and it's been wonderful. I haven't been ill, I haven't been injured, and I've really, well and truly, broken that endless cycle that I was in of one thing after another. Illness, injury, all of it seems to be a distant memory. And perhaps the most important thing, I feel really well. I feel well physically, I feel well psychologically, mentally. I've been getting out training, but none of it has stressed me out. None of it has particularly mattered. And even though it's Ironman 70.3 in 2 weeks' time, my only target is to get around that in one piece, without injury, without making myself ill. And if I do that, and I'm not bothered how long it takes, if I do that, if I get to that finish line feeling as well as this, I'll be absolutely delighted. Because for such a long time, it felt like I was never going to get back to doing anything like this. When my Achilles flared up and I had a hip bursa, they were so incredibly painful and inflamed that at times I felt quite desperate. So this, just being out like this, is absolutely wonderful, and I'm grateful for every single second of it. Heart rate is 118. It's awesome. Just come up the hill from Tong Cemetery to Leverhulme Park, and true to my word, my heart rate's crept up to 132. So I'm walking just so we get to the end of this here. The younger me spent an awful lot of time on Leverhulme Park, because this was our training ground with Bolton Harriers. So we did hill sessions on here, we did fartleks, we did effort sessions, we did reps, we did warm-ups. The younger me would have also been absolutely appalled by the idea that I'm just jogging around and walking when it got a tiny bit tough. The younger me had two gears really, warm up and then flat out. That's how races would definitely run, and that's why I was successful on the track. It was absolutely flat out, and had 4 good years of that from 15 to 19, and in those 4 years I got my 800 time down to under 2 minutes. I got my 1500 metre time down to just a fraction under 4 minutes. That wasn't unusual in the early 90s with lots of people my age running similar times. But it was good enough to win races, and it was good enough to get a real sense of achievement from it and confidence from it. As a teenager, you need something to attach yourself to that's bigger than yourself. And for me, it was running. And so I became quite good at it. until, of course, I'd completely burned out. But this park, it's incredibly special. We're on a loop now that for some reason at Bolton Harriers, when we were warming up, we called the Big Monster. I've got absolutely no idea why, because there's nothing monstrous about it. It's an incredibly scenic and lovely place to be. I didn't ask either, which is weird. So I've got no idea why it was called that. But every sort of turn, I almost imagine myself sometimes to meet a younger version of myself, sprinting most probably, running hard, always running hard. We did a lot of hill sessions, a hill called Spooky Hill, which anybody that does Bolton Park Run will now know it as Cruella Hill. Again, I've got no idea why the name changed, or if Bolton Harriers still call it Spooky Hill. Cinder Hill, which was another one. It's like when you spend so much time in a particular place and you know the twists and turns and the ups and downs really well, you sort of go on autopilot. But also, oddly, they seem to become ingrained with a previous version of yourself. There's so many memories, all of them positive. But I still can't get over the idea that an 18-year-old me would have completely ridiculed a run like this. I'd have probably seen it as pointless. And yet, it's still running. And yet, although the years might have changed my attitude towards running, running's still the thread that holds everything together for me. Running is still the place, the activity that glues everything else together in my life. And now it's not about speed, it's just about durability, it's about health, it's about endurance, it's about being outside. I can't actually remember the last time I even tried hard in a run or a park run or a race. It just doesn't enter my head anymore. And that's why Leverhulme Park is so incredibly special to me. It reminds me that I've grown as a runner and as a person, even if I've not got any quicker, because the things that I used to be attached to, pace, speed, position in a race, they're just unimportant now. That's not to say they won't be important in the future. That's not to say that once I'm absolutely convinced that I can manage intensity and effort, once I know where the dividing line is between training hard and overtraining, then who knows, I might start racing again. I might think I'm going to try for a PB, something like that, and try and come first at park run again. Anything really, that might be there in the future. And I think running in a park like this, where all different versions of myself have existed, is a reminder that there's nothing static in life. The park more or less remains the same, but you encounter it each time as a different person, because we are different people. I am absolutely not the 18-year-old me, and I'm not the person that entered Ironman 70.3 2 years ago. I'm only doing it this year because I deferred it last year through illness, and when I originally entered it, I wanted to be competitive. So even that's changed over the 2 years, well, longer than 2 years, since my entry went in. That's the lesson, I think. places like this, through that stillness, you're allowed to change. And ultimately, all of the paths and the trails of Leverhulme lead to this, the track. So that's it, that's Leverhulme. And although these paths and trails have remained unchanged, for me they no longer lead to the track. Instead, they lead to patience, growth, resilience, strength, and that's good. Why I love this park so much is it reminds me that although it largely stays the same, life changes, and change is good.